Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper May-June 2003, so 2003, paper 2. So let's move on to question number 1. So first one here, we have to evaluate this. So we can just use our calculator because it is paper 2, right? So 4.8 square minus 1.7 square divided by 4.8 times 1.7. That should give you 2.47, correct to 3SF. Okay, that is the first one. And for this one, find a value of x for which this is true. So let's first find these two. So let's make sure we have this in degrees. So we have tan of 12 plus cos of 46. That will be 0.907. So x is equal to sine inverse of 0.907. So let's find that. That should be about 65.1 degrees for your value of x. That is part A. Now part B, we have the diagram shows a framework A, B, C, D. So here we have A, B, C, and D. AD is 2.2, BD is 1.9, and BCD is 42. Now part 1 is calculate the angle ADB. ADB. So we have to find this angle. Let's call this one theta. So how would you find this angle? If you look, we have ABD as a right angle triangle. In that case, we can use the SOHCAHTOA, right? SOHCAHTOA. So SOHCAHTOA. So here we have our adjacent side, and this is your hypotenuse. So A and hypotenuse, so we have to use cos. So cos of the angle is equal to A, which is your adjacent side, over your hypotenuse. From this you will have cos inverse of 1.9 over 2.2. Cos inverse of that should give you 30.3. So this angle here is 30.3 degrees. Now for BC, where is BC? BC is this length. So again, one more time, here we have BDC is a right angle triangle. So we can use SOHCAHTOA again. So SOHCAHTOA. So here we have this side, which is your opposite side. So O. And we're trying to find BC, which is your hypotenuse. So H and H. So here we have to use sine. So sine of the angle, which is 42, is equal to opposite side 1.9 over BC. So BC is equal to 1.9 over sine of 42. So 1.9 divided by sine of 42, that is equal to 2.84. That is in meters. Okay, that is for part B. Now for part C, we have a vertical flagpole 18 meter high stands on a horizontal ground. It means on a flat ground. Okay, calculate the angle of elevation of the top of the flagpole from a point on the ground 25 meters from the base. So pretty easy. It means that, let's say we have a pole here. This is your pole. Okay, and it says the height is 18 meters. This is a horizontal ground, so it is flat. It is 90 degrees on the ground, right? Now we have to calculate the angle of elevation of the top of the flagpole from a point on the ground, which is 25 meters. So 25 meters from the base. Let's say it is about here. And we have to find the angle of elevation to the top of the flagpole. So angle of elevation is just this angle. Let's call this one alpha. And the length here base is 25. So one more time, you have a right angle triangle, and to find this angle you have to use SOHCAHTOA. In that case, we have your adjacent side and your opposite side, you have to use tan. So tan of alpha is equal to 18 over 25. This will give you tan inverse of 18 over 25. That will be 37.6. So at 35.6. So angle of elevation will be 35.6 degrees And that is question number 1. Now question number 2, factorize completely this one. First thing we can do is we can factorize by 5. You will have 5 outside, you will have 4t squared minus 1. Then if you observe 4 is, you would say 4 is what? 4 is 2 squared. So that will become 5 2t squared minus 1 squared. Now we can factorize the inside again. You will have 5, that will be 2t plus 1, 2t minus 1. That will be your answer for part A. Now for part B, express this as a single fraction in its simplest form. Now, the first thing you realize that is the base are different, so you have to find the LCM. So one thing we can do first is, let's take out the x. We take out x, you will have 7 over 2 minus 5 over 3. So we have to find the LCM of the inside function, of the inside expression. So one thing we can do here, let's just take this inside. Only the inside, we have 7 over 2, so we have to make it become the same base. So to find the same base, we can just multiply them by each other. You will have 2 times 3, that will be 6. And next step is to cross multiply. So 7 times 3, 21, minus 10, that should give you 21 minus 10, that will be 11 over 6. Now that is the inside. Now we have to times this, so your answer will be 11 over 6x. This is your single fraction in its simplest form. That is part B. Now for part C, tickets for a concert were priced at $5, $8, and $12. Those are 3 prices for a concert. The number of $5 tickets sold were twice the number of $8 tickets sold. That's your first information. Now, the number of $12 tickets sold were 80 more than the number of $8 tickets sold. That is your second information. Now it tells you that the number of $8 tickets sold was X. So if this is X, if the number here is X, it means that if this is twice as much as this, that will be 2x. The number of 5 will be 2x, the number of 8 is x. Now for this one, the number of $12 tickets sold were 80 more. It means that the number will be x plus 80. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now for part 1, find an expression in terms of x for the total sum of money received for the sale of tickets. So one by one, we have realized that from part 1, number of $5 tickets sold was 2x, so that will be 5 times 2x plus, this is $8, so 8 times x, and plus $12 times number of tickets sold will be x plus 80. So that will be expression. If you can expand, let's do that. So you'll have 10x plus 8, that will be 18, plus 12, that will be 30. So 30x plus, this is 12 times 80, that should give you 960. Okay, so that will be expression in terms of x for the total sum of money received. Now for part 2, given that this was the amount received from the sale, form an equation in terms of x and solve this to find the total number of tickets that was sold. So find the value of x basically. So we have 30x plus 960 is equal to 9360. From this you have 30x is equal to 9360 minus this. So 9360 minus 960, that should give you this. Then x is equal to this divided by 30, that will be 280. So now we have to find the number of tickets sold. So we have to find one by one. So if x is this one, x is the number of $8 tickets sold, that will be 280 for the $8 one. Now for the $5 it is 2 times, so 2 times this, that is 560. And finally for the $12 one, it says it is x plus 80. So 280 plus 80, that should be 360. So that will give you 280 plus 560 plus 360. That is 1,200. That is the total number of tickets sold for this concert. That is your question number 2. Let's move on to question number 3. So in 2001, the price of 1 liter of petrol was 72 cents, which is $0.72. Okay. Now for first part, 65% of this price is tax, and the remainder is other costs. So if 65% is tax, what is the remainder? You would say remainder will be 100 minus 65. That will be 35. So remainder will be 35%. Now part 1, find in its simplest form the ratio of tax to other costs. Give your answer in this form. So pretty easy, ratio. So we have tax and remainder. So here we have 65 and 35. So we have to simplify until we have m and n in its simplest form, right? So first thing we can do is we can divide by 5 on both sides. 65 divided by 5, you have 13. And here we have 7. Okay, so that's it. That's the simplest form that we can, because we cannot divide anymore on either side. So this is your ratios of 13 to 7, where m and n are integers. Part 2, calculate how much tax is paid on 1 liter of petrol. So how much tax will be 65%. So 65% times 72 cents, so this much dollars. Or you can just keep it inside as well, it's up to you. That will be, so dollars will be 0.468, or if you want to write, you can write 46.8 cents. That is up to you. Okay, that is part A. Now for part B, Maureen bought as many complete liters of petrol as she could with a $20 note, which is 100 cents. So $1 is 100 cents, $20 is equal to 20, and then 2,000 cents. Okay. Part 1, calculate how many liters she bought. So 1 liter is 72, as you have been given above. So we know the price of 1 liter is 72. So how much can she get for 2,000 cents? It will be, so you have to do ratios. So 1 liter, okay, so let's do 72 cents is equal to 1 liter. So 2,000 cents is 1 divided by 72 times 2,000. So let's do that. That will be 27.78. Okay, but your answer has to be how many complete liters. So complete is only 27. So your answer for part 1 is 27. 27 is your answer for part 1. Now for part 2 is calculate how much change she received. Pretty easy. So if she bought 27 liters, so 27 liters times the price 72, that is what? That will be 1944. That is the cost. So the change will be 2,000 minus answer, that is 56 cents. So she received that much change. If you want to write, you can always write $0.56. That is the change that she receives. Now for part 3, part C, in 2002, the price of 1 liter of petrol was 81 cents. That was the price in 2002. Calculate the percentage increase in the price of petrol from 2001 to 2002. So if it is given to you that in 2001, the price was 72 cents. So let's do this here, part C. So 2001, the price was 72, and 2002, the price was 81. So we have to find the percentage increase. So to find that, we have to first find the increase. Increase will be 81 minus 72, that will be 9, divided by the initial price, which is this one, 72 times 100. That will be 12.5% change in price. That is your answer for this one. 12.5%. Now for part D, the price of petrol in 2001 was 10% less than the price in 2000. Calculate the price of 1 liter of petrol in 2000. So let's do this part D here. The price in 2000, we don't know, but the price in 2001 has been given to us as 172. Now we know that the price in 2001 was 10% less than the price in 2000. So it means that the price here, so let's call this one X, we don't know the price. The initial price is always going to be 100%. That's always the initial price, that is going to be this one, right? Now if it was 10% less, you have to minus 10, so this minus 10%, it means that the price in 2001 was 90%. I hope that makes sense, right? So now we have to do ratios. So 90% was equal to 72 cents. So we have to find the initial price, which was 100%. That will be 72 divided by 90 times 100. 72 divided by 90 times 100. That should be 80 cents. So the price back in 2000 was 80 cents per liters. So the answer here was 80 cents. Now for part E, we have Andrew's car will travel 480 km on a full tank. Okay, on a full tank we have 480 km. So let's write this down. So E, so full tank is equal to 480 km. That's the first thing we know. Okay, now he starts a journey of 620 km. So we have a journey of distance is 620 km. So with a tank which is half full, so half full is how much? So if full tank can travel 480, half tank can travel, half of that will be 240 km. That's the max it can go with a half tank. Okay. Now he wants to stop only once for petrol. Between what distances from the start of his journey must he stop for petrol? So between what? So we have to find the range of distances that he can stop. So we have to look at the different cases. For example, so distance is here 620, right? Now he only have this half a tank. Let's say first option, he drives 240. He drives everything in this half tank. So drives 240, and then he stops here and then drive. The rest is what? Let's see. 620 minus 240, that is 380. So the rest will be 380. So since he will stop here for his gas, if he fills the tank full, he can travel this easily. So that's the first option. So one option is he can stop at 240 after the start of his journey. That's the first option. Now the second option is, let's look at this again. So this is the full journey of 620. Now let's say if he doesn't stop at the maximum that he can stop, let's say he stops somewhere before. Let's say he wants to stop once for gas, but let's say distance here will be one tank distance, which is 480. So what distance can he stop here? That will be 620 minus 480. That will be 140. So he can stop at 140 and fill up his gas at full tank, and he can travel 480 to complete his journey as well. So the distance between is between 140 and 240. So he can stop anywhere between those two distances to fill up his gas and then complete his journey. Okay, so that will be question part E of number 3. let's move on to question number 4. So BD is a diameter of the circle, center O. C and A are 2 points on the circle, so C and A are 2 points on the circle. AB and DC are then produced to meet at E, so they meet at this point E. Okay, these two has been given for you. We have AOB is 110 and BDC is 23. Okay, that is good to know. Now, what else can we find? Let's see. So, first one is we have to find ADO. So, ADO. Okay, this one is pretty easy. So, as we know by now, angle at center is always twice the angle at circumference. So, in that case, this will be half of this. So, 110 divided by 2, that should be 55. So angle here is 55. Now next one is we have to find angle BAC. So BAC, so you have to find this one. So how would you find this one? You have to observe, because here we have this angle on the same arc or segment is the same value. So this will be 23 as well. Okay. And what's next? So we have to find CBD. CBD. So we have to find this angle. So one thing we can observe is we have BD as your diameter given to you. It means that if you have a triangle, you have an angle over the diameter, this will be 90. So this is 90, this is 23. This will be a third angle of a triangle, which is 180 minus 90 minus 23, that should give you 67. So here your angle will be CBD is 67. And the last one we have to find is CEB. So CEB will be this angle. So how can you find this angle? Pretty easy. First thing first is we have this angle is equal to this angle. So now if you observe, we have triangle EDA. We know these two angles. We have to find this one. This one is a third angle of a triangle. So let's do that. 180 minus 23 minus 55 minus 67 minus 23. That should be 12. So E is 12 degrees. So this is 12, and that is for part A. Now for part B is, we have M is the midpoint of CD. So let's say we have CD here, M will be the midpoint of CD. Let's say somewhere around, for some reason, about here. I don't know, but let's say it's here, CD. The midpoint, okay. Now next step is explain why triangle OMD is similar to triangle BCD. So first let's see where is OMD. So O is of this point. So OMD is this triangle, and BCD is the big one. So why are they similar? So there's a few ways to explain that. So one thing we can explain is this is, so we can prove something. Let's do that. So let's write down the reason why. So part 1 for part B, why on why they are similar. So first, triangle OMD, and we have BCD. Okay, so how can you prove that two triangles are similar? Say this angle is the same, right? Because it is common. So let's write this down. We have angle MDO is equal to angle CDB. They are the same, 23 degrees. It is a common angle. Okay, that's something you can easily see. They are the same. Now, what else do we need to know? So, how about, let's see what else can we derive, because it is not clear that these two angles are known. So, let's see what else do we know here. So, we can find this angle if you want to. this will be what angle? Let's see what can we derive. So here we have 55, this is 55 as well. That should give you 70. This is a straight line, so this should be 70, pretty easy. And let's see what else can we derive. This should be the angle. Not very clear right now, so let me check, because it can. Okay, so one thing we can do is, this is 55, and what is this one? That is 35. And what else do we know? Because right now my goal is to find those two angles, so find this and this angle. So this is not cross section, so we cannot do that. And here we have the center, so this is your radius. This is the point M. So I'm trying to use the AA method to prove all the angles are the same. But if I cannot prove that, I will have to find another method to show how they are the same. Oh no, this one is actually not right, because this one is using how you call it? It's using congruency. So this is not the right method. Okay, so one thing we can do here is pretty easy. So, okay, this one was I was just confused with congruency, so this is not for this one. So you can use this to prove they are similar, but in this case, as you have seen, you have been given some information, so you have to use it. Use that information to prove that they are similar. Now for part 2, write down the value of this. So pretty easy. The value of triangle OMD. OMD is a small one and BCD is a big one. So we know the ratio of the sides already, which is 1/2. So the sides, you have to know what is the units of the sides. You say unit is centimeter, right? Now what is the unit of area? It is centimeter square. So how do you convert this to this? You have to apply square, right? So same thing, we have the ratio in terms of sides, which is 1/2. We have to apply square to make it ratio of area, which is 1/4. So your answer will be 1/4 for the ratio of their areas. And that is your question number 4. Now for part 5, question number 5, 160 students took an examination. So let's write this down. 160 took the examination. The table shows the marks needed for each grade. Okay, so we have a table right here, and this is the requirements for each grade. So the cumulative frequency curve shows the distribution of their marks. So we have 160, and this is the marks. Now for part 1, use your graph to estimate the median. Median is half of the number of people, which is 160. That is the 80th value. So go back to your graph, to your 80th value. Here will be this one. So 80th value. Find the corresponding value, that is 60. 60 will be your median. 60 marks, right? Now for part B, find your interquartile range. So for the range, we have to use Q3, which is your upper quartile, minus your lower quartile. Upper quartile is 3/4. So 3/4, let's do this here. 3/4 of 160 is what? That is 1/20th value. And what is 1/4 of 60? Of 160, sorry. That should be divided by 3, 40th value. So let's find those corresponding values. The first one is 1/20th value, which is right here. And the corresponding value for your mark will be this one, which is 70. And for 40, it should be right here. That is, so we have 40, this is 48, okay, 48. So Q3 is 70 minus 48. That should give you your answer for your range. That is 22. 22 marks is your range for your interquartile range. Now for part C, the number of students who are awarded a grade of C. So go back to your table. Grade of C is between 40 and 55. So you have to go to 40, find the range, and 55 will be, 50 is here, and 55 will be between. Okay, let's find the corresponding number of students. Okay, it's between those two. This is 60 minus, this is what? So 20. So we have 5 squares, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 for 20. So 1 square is how much? So divided by 5 is 4. So here we have 2 squares, that will be 28. 60 minus 28, that will be 32. So number of students, that will be 32 students. Now for part 2 is, a pie chart was drawn to illustrate the graphs, the grades awarded to the students. Calculate the angle of the sector which represents the number of students who were awarded a grade of C. So pretty easy. Take this number here, 32, divide by total number of students, which is 160, and times 360, times 360 degrees for your circle. That should be 72 degrees for your angle of sector. That is part 2. Now for part B, here we have an ordinary unbiased die has faces numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Sarah and Terry each threw this die once. So in this case, what can you do is you can always draw a diagram to help you with this kind of question. So let me draw one right here. So let's see, here we have your die, that's the first throw. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right, so we have until 6. This is when Sarah threw the die. This is for Sarah. And let's say this is for Terry. On this side you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is when they throw 1, 1, 2, 1. So you don't need to do that, but this helps you a lot to find the answer faster. So 3, 1, that's 4, 1, and 5, 1, and 6, 1. This is all the possible outcomes when you throw your die by these two people. This is 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, and 1, 5, and 1, 6. It's 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, and 3, 6. And we have 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 5, and 4, 6, 5, 2, 4, and 5, 5, and 5, 6. 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, and finally 6, 6. So all this is the possible outcomes when they throw the dice after each other. So this is your possible outcomes. Question number 1. It says find the fraction in its lowest term of the probability that, first one is Sarah threw a 7. So this one, as you can see, we don't have any 7 on your dice, so it is absolutely 0. So it is not possible. And this one, they both threw a 6, so it has to be 6, 6. So Sarah threw a 6 and Terry threw a 6 has only one possibility out of 36. And for this one, neither threw an even number, so both threw an odd number. So odd, it has to be So let's use a different color. So for odd we have 1 1, 1 3, 1 5. We have 2 is not possible, so this one, this and this, this, and that's it. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So we have 9 out of 36, which is 1/4. Now last one. Sarah threw exactly 4 more than Terry. So find the difference, which is should give you 4 more than Terry. So in that case, we can just do write this again. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So Sarah is this one, Terry is this one. Sarah has to throw 4 more than Terry, so find the difference. So this will be, so this minus this will be 0. So here we won't have so 4 more than Terry, that will be 2 minus 1 is 1, 2 3 4 5. So 4 here. That will be 1 minus, this is not possible, right? So this is 1 minus 2 is minus 1, not good. 0 1 2 3 and 4. And here we have 1 minus 3 is minus 2. Sorry, minus 2 minus 1, 0 1 2 3. Then we have minus 3 minus 2 minus 1, 0 1 2. That will be minus 4 minus 2, so minus 3 minus 2 minus 1 0 1, and finally this is minus 5. You can stop here already because we have our answers, but let's complete everything and we can just be sure that where it is 4 or not. So that is minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, and 0. So where Sarah throw more than Terry by 4 here, we have 2 options. So your answer is 2. So 2/36, which is 1/18 as your answer. And that is your question number 5, and that's it. Let's move on to question number 6. So here we have, it says the natural numbers 1 2 3 are written in a clockwise direction, which means in this direction. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and 16. Okay, that is part 1. So there are 4 numbers in each ring. Okay, and the numbers 1 2 3 and 4 in the first ring, the numbers this on second ring, and going on. So part A, write down the numbers in the 4th ring. So we did that already. So it is 13 14 15 16. Okay, great. Now part B, write down the largest number in the 10th ring. So we have to observe where is the largest number. So for example, if you observe in the first ring, where is the largest number? You would say we have 1 2 3 4, so 4 is the largest number. In the second ring, where is the largest number? We have 5 6 7 8. 8 is the largest number. Third ring, same thing, 12 is the largest. And fourth ring, 16 is the largest. So which means that the largest number will always be found in this direction. Now, the first term is 1 times 4. The first term. Second term is, second ring is 2 times 4. Third ring is 3 times 4. Fourth ring is 4 times 4. 5 ring is 5 times 4. And the 10th ring will be 10 times 4. So the max number for the 10th ring has to be 40. Okay, part C, the sum of the sum ascent of the first 4 terms in the nth ring, okay, is given to you by the table. Now if you observe, let's count. So 10, what is the difference? It is 26 minus 10, that will be 16. And this is also 16, which means we have to add 16. That will be 16, 42 plus 16, that will be 58. But let's check, because we can use a calculator here. So that is your answer for this table. Now part 2, find the expression for this one. So pretty easy. So as always, we write down, when you have 16 as a common difference, you write down 16n. Now, for your first term, when n is equal to 1, you would replace n by 1, so you have 16, that will be 16. But if you observe, this is not your answer. Your answer is 10. So how can you make 16 become 10? You have to minus 6. So same thing, minus 6 here as well. So expression will be 16n minus 6. Now for part 3, in which ring is the sum of the full number equal to this? So basically, we know that Sn is equal to 16n minus 6. So we have to find the value of n for which it is equal to this. So find the, so replace and find the value of n. So you have 16n is equal to 10, 24, n is what? Only 64. So 64 is your answer for your value of which term is given by this sum. That is question number 6. Okay, so let's move on to question number 7. So here we have been given a few values. It says that the value of pi is 3.142, correct to a 3 decimal place, and the surface area is this, and this is this. Okay, good. Now let's see, what do we have? A closed container is made of joining together a cylinder of radius 9, okay, and a hemisphere. Hemisphere is half a sphere, which means that the area of a hemisphere will be given by 2 pi r square. It is only half of that. Same thing, the volume of a hemisphere will be half of this. That will be 2 over 3 pi r cubed. Now the length is 18, as you can see here, and the container rests on a horizontal surface, a flat surface. So this is good to know. The surface and is exactly half full. So we have to use this information to find the answers. It is exactly half full. So what can we derive from this? Let's see what is the questions. So part 1, calculate the surface area of the inside of the container that is in contact with the water. Give your answer correct to the nearest square centimeter, so centimeter squares. So what surface is in contact with the water on the inside? So we have this surface, right, which is half of a circle, the curved surface, and this surface on the outside. So let's shade this one. So we have to find it piece by piece. Okay, so for this one, it will be half of a circle, so pi r square is 9 square divided by 2. Now for this curved surface, it will be half of that as well, so plus 2 pi r h is 18, and have to divide by 2 because it's only half of the cylinder, and plus this one, which is only half of the hemisphere. Hemisphere will be 2 pi r square divided by 2. So let's solve. So 9 square pi divided by 2 plus 9 times 18 pi plus 9 square pi. That is given by what? 890. So 890 centimeter square, because you have to give your answer correct to the nearest square centimeter. So this is your answer for part A. Now for part 2, show that the volume of water is this. So let's find the volume of water inside of this container. So if it is exactly half full, we can first find the volume of the whole shape divided by 2, right? So what is the volume of everything? It is the volume of a cylinder plus volume of a hemisphere. So let's do that. Volume of shape, so of everything, it is volume of a cylinder is pi, r square is 9 square, h is 18, plus volume of a hemisphere. This is your formula, so 2 over 3 pi r cubed. So 9 square times 18, that will be 1458 pi plus 2 over 3 times 9 cubed, that will be 486 pi. If you add those two, that is 1944 pi centimeter cube. That is the volume of the whole shape, but since we know that it is only half full, we have to divide by 2. So this will be what? 972. So I have shown here by dividing by 2. This is your answer, shown as required. Now for part C, the container is held with its vertical, with the axis vertical, so exactly in between, it is held on vertical position. The hemisphere being at the bottom of the shape. As you can see here, we have the hemisphere. We have to calculate the depth of water. So what is the depth of water? So we know that this is the radius 9. This is also radius 9. Okay, so first we can find the volume of this one. First, what is the volume of the hemisphere? So volume of hemisphere, because since we know this part here is 9 because it's the radius of the hemisphere, so we have to find this one. So we have to find the value of h. So volume of hemisphere will be 2 over 3 pi r cube. That will be 2 over 3 times 9 cube. That will be 486 pi. Okay, that is the volume of the base. Now for this one, we have to find the volume of the cylinder. If you look at this shape here remaining on top, it is a cylinder, right? So what is the volume of the cylinder? So we know that the volume of water is this much. So volume of cylinder will be 972 pi minus 486 pi. That should be 486 as well. So which means we have to find the value of h by using the formula. So we have, how do you find volume of cylinder? By using your formula, which is pi r square h, which is 486. So pi cancel, find the value of h. So 486 divided by 81, that should be 6. So h is equal to 6. So in that case, the height, the depth will be 9 plus 6, that will be 15 centimeters. That is your answer for part C. Now for part D, the container is now placed on its circular end on a horizontal surface, as shown in the diagram number 3. Find the depth of water. The depth of water will be this much. This one is pretty straightforward because we just have to find the height of the cylinder. So pi r square h is equal to 972 pi. So pi cancel, h is what? So 972 divided by 81, that should be 12. So the height or the depth of water will be 12 centimeters. And that is your question number 7. So now move on to question number 8. Answer the whole question on a sheet of graph paper. Temperatures were recorded over a 9-hour period, so 0, 1, 2 until 9. Okay. The table shows the temperature y degrees Celsius at various times. So this is the temperature that was measured at each hour from 0 to 9. Okay, that is given to us already. Now, part 1, using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 1 hour, draw a horizontal x-axis from 0 to 9. The next one, using a scale of 2 centimeter to represent 1 degree Celsius, draw a vertical y-axis from -2 till 4. Okay, so first let's draw the graph that we need. So let me try to draw this right here. For the y-axis, it needs to be from -2 till 4. So we have to use 2 centimeters for 1. So we have to use 12 squares for that. So 12 should be about, let's draw this here, on the y-axis. Okay. It's y degrees Celsius. Now it has to be from -2. So let's put Let's put -2 here. Why not? Let's put -2 here. And then 2 for 1. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is your y-axis. Now for x has to 1 to 1 and then 0 to 9. This one should be pretty easy. So from 0 to 9, and it is 1 to 1 centimeters. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 0. That is your. Let's continue this and label this as your x for your number of hours. X for hours. Okay, that was part 1. This is done. So it is you have to plot the graph and connect with a smooth curve. So we have to plot the points and connect it with a smooth curve. So let's do that. Pretty easy. So first point is 0, 2. 0, 2 will be this one. Then we have 1 minus 1. Then we have 2 minus 2. Then we have 3 minus 1.4. Then we have 4, 0, 5, 2, 6, 3.5. Then we have 7, 3.4. And then it is 8, 2.4. Should be about right here. Then we have 9, 0.6. Okay, so now we have to join the points by a smooth curve. So let me try my best. So this will be joined with this. This will be the max about here. This will be with this one. Okay, and this will be about like that, right? Has to be kind of curved. Join with this one. So okay, try your best to make it as smooth as possible. That is part 1 done. Now for part 2, use a graph to estimate the temperature when x is equal to 5.5. So x is 5.5 will be right here. Find the value of y when x is 5.5. So you have to draw a line in between 5 and 6 for 5.5. And then find the corresponding value on your y-axis. So for me it shows to be about 2.8 for the value. So this is my graph. So if your graph shows something different, that is okay as well. So that is 2.8 degrees Celsius. Now for 2, find the difference between the highest and the lowest temperatures. So my graph shows the lowest is -2 and the highest here, according to my graph, it is about 3.7. Okay, so we have to find the difference. Difference will be 3.7 minus -2. That will be 5.7 degrees Celsius. Now for part 3 is how long in hours and minutes the temperature was above 2 degrees Celsius. So let's see where it was above 2 degrees. So 2 was this one. So if you draw a line, let's see when it was above this line. So the curve was above this line between this point and this point. So what is this point? It is about 8.3, between 5 and 8.3. So for how long? So 8.3 minus 5, that is 3.3 hours. You can change that to. So 3.3, so 3 hours minus 3 hours. So you have 3 hours, right? And how many minutes? 0.3 minutes times 60. That will be 18 minutes. That is according to the graph. But the most important thing is you have to show how you find your answer. For that you get your mark, okay? Now for part C, by drawing a tangent, find the gradient of the curve at this point. At x equal to 8 will be this point. So you have to draw a tangent to this point. It should be about here. So you have to find 2 points, one above and one below. So I will choose this one, which is 10. You don't need to choose this one, you can choose someone here or somewhat here as well, that's okay. But for me, if I can see something pretty easy, so 10, 0, and you will have something I can see, let's say over here, which is 7 and 3.8. So I choose those 2 points, and I can use those 2 points to find my gradient. So my 2 points is, so let me write this down for part C. My 2 point is 7, 3.8, and 10, 0. So M will be my gradient, which is y1 minus y2 minus y1 minus 3.8 minus 10. So 10 minus 7 will be 3. So minus 3.8 divided by 3, that should be minus 1.27. So minus 1.27, that is right here. Now question is, state briefly what does this gradient represent. If you observe, what are we doing here? We are, to find the gradient, we are dividing height, which is the temperature, by the time. So it represents, if it is negative, it means that it represents the rate of change, or you can say increase or decrease of temperature per hour. If you want to, you can write that. Now for part D, let's see what do we have. The curve from x equal to 0 to x equal to 2 has equation this. Find the value of C and the value of B. Okay, so from x0 to x2, let's see where that is. So x0 was here, x2 was here. So it says from this to, say for this to here, for this part, it says that the equation it is in this form. Find the value of C and find the value of B. Now if you observe, for the value of C, it is your y-intercept, which means at the value of x equal to 0, find the value of y. So pretty easy. So equation is y equal to x squared plus bx plus c. Now we know that where the curve cuts the y-axis, we have this point which is 0, 2. So let's use this point to find the value of c. So 0, 2, this is x, this is y. Replace back in your equation, you will have 2 equal to 0 plus c. So value of c will be 2. That is your value of c. So now your equation becomes y equal to x squared plus bx plus 2. Next step, find b. So same way, pretty easy. Go to this point, you find the value of b. So this point is 2 minus 2. So using the point 2 minus 2, let's find this value of b. So here we have x and y. Y is minus 2 and x is 2, which is 4 plus 2b plus 2. So now the thing is, you don't need to use that point. You can use any point from this side to find this point, to find the values as well. You don't need to use this one. You can use this one, or you can use this one. It is up to you. You can choose any point on this curve. From this to this, you can choose any point to find those two values. It is up to you. Okay. So if you simplify, 2b is equal to 8. So b is equal to 4. So finally, that is y is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 2. That is your equation of that curve from x is equal to 0 to x equal to 2. And that is your question number 8. Now question number 9, we have a few triangles, as you can see. The diagram shows the position of a harbor H. So H is right here, and 3 islands A, B, and C. Now C is due north of H, which means exactly up from H. That's good to know. And the other has bearings from the point H, right? Now let's do the questions. So part 1, is calculate the distance HB. So to find HB, as you can see, since we have a triangle ABH, we know this side and this, we know the angle in between, you can use the cosine rule. So let's do that. So cosine of the angle 128 is equal to 54 square plus 31 square minus HB square divided by 2 times 54 times 31. Now we just have to make HB the subject of formula, so let's do that. So first evaluate cos of 128 times 2 times 54 times 31. 54 square plus 31 square, that should be this, so HB will be 77.1. So value of HB, correct to 3SF, 77.1 kilometers, sorry. Correct to 3SF. Now next one, find the bearing of B from A. So we have to draw a north line. So that's your north line. So find the bearing of B from A, we have to find this angle. So how would you find this angle? So let's see what can we use to find this. So this question should be pretty easy because it is given to you that it is only 1 mark. So let's see how can we find this. Is there any indication? I'm not too sure. Let's see if what's possible. So here we have a north line as well. So if you continue this line, let's see what happens. This line with this line. So if you observe, it means that this angle, so since we have this angle, the H connecting with A, this angle is equal to this angle. So this angle here is 62, which means this one is, because this big one is 128, so this minus this will give you this one. So 128 minus 62, that should be 66. So this angle here will be 180 minus 66, that will be 114. Okay, so the bearing of B from A will be 114 degrees. That is for part B. Now for part C, the bearing of A from C is 133. So the bearing of A from C is 133. That is given to you by the question. Now calculate the distance AC. So we have to find this distance AC. So if this is given to you, what is this angle? This will be 180 minus 133. That should be 47. Okay, so let's see what's possible here. So we know this angle, we know this side, so we know this angle, we have to find this side. Let's call this one x. So we can use the cos, or we can use the sine rule, right? So basically 54 over sine of the opposite angle, which is 47, is equal to x, which is AC, over sine of 62. So let's find the value of x. X will be 54 times sine of 62 divided by sine of 47. That should be 65.2, correct to 3SF. So AC will be 65.2. So let's write this down, 65.2 km. Now for part D, a light ship L is positioned due north of H and equidistant from A and H. Okay, calculate the distance HL. So we have this first information, L will be due north of H, so it will be on this line, on line AC. And the next one is, it is position equidistant from A and H. Has to be exactly in between that two, so it has to be like this. So if it is equidistant, it has to be on the perpendicular bisector on this one. So that should be about, let's say it is approximately right here. Let me use a different color to show. So basically what happens is we have to draw the perpendicular bisector of line AH, so we can find approximately where it may lie. So basically, you have to go to the midpoint of AH and draw a perpendicular line that cuts AH and goes to HC. So as you can see, the point where they intersect will be your point. That's your point L. Okay, so this is right angle. And since this one is the same, because it has to be equidistant, so 54 divided by 2 will be what? 27. So this side will be 27. Now question, we have to find the distance HL. Now if you observe, we have triangle L, H, and this point. It is a right angle triangle. To find HL, we have to use SOHCAHTOA, right? So we know this side, which is your adjacent side, we have to find the hypotenuse, we have to use cos. So cos of the angle 62 is equal to this side, A side, your adjacent side, divided by HL. So from this you have HL is equal to 27 divided by cos of 62. That should be 57.5 km. So HL is 57.5 km. Okay, that is your question number 9. Let's move on to question number 10. So we have a shape here, diagram 1 shows a quad ABCD in which DA equal to AB, X, so these two is X, and these two is Y. Now part 1, show that the area of this quad is XY square centimeters. So pretty easy. The way you can show this is if you were to cut this exactly in half, because you can see that there are basically two triangles together, right? Two right angle triangles. So basically you can say show is, so 2 times, how do you find area of triangle? Half times base, the base here is Y, and times height. The height is X, right? So basically 2 cancel out, the area will be XY centimeter square, shown as required. Now for part B, 5 of these quads are joined together to make the shape in part 2. Okay, now the total area of the shape is 80 centimeters square. That is the total area, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If one of them is XY, so 5 of them will be 5XY, right? So 5XY is equal to 80 centimeter square. Now part 2, show that the outside perimeter P is given by this. Okay, let's see how can we find this. So this is Y, and this is X. So we have to find the perimeter of this shape. So let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2 Y's. So the perimeter is 10x plus 2y. So now in this term we don't have any y, so we have to replace this value by x. So we go back to this equation to make y the subject of formula. That become 80 divided by 5x, which is, so let's do that, 80 divided by 5, that should be 16. So 16 over x, that is the value of y. Replace in your equation, you will have, so that will be 10x plus 2 times y, that will be 32 over x, shown as required. That is part 1. Now part 2, in the case where p equal to 38, show we have this. So let's do that. So part 1, so if p equal to 38, we have 10x plus 32 over x. So first step is we have to eliminate the base, multiply by x everywhere. Let's see what happens. So you will have 38x equal to 10x square plus 32. Now let's bring everything to one side. You will have 10x square minus 38x plus 32. Divide by 2, you will have 5x square minus 19x plus 16 equal to 0. This is shown as required. Now part B, solve the equation giving both answers correct to 2 decimal place. So when you see that you know the answer is not exact, you have to use your formula, right? So x is equal to minus b plus minus root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2a, which is 2 times 5. Now if you simplify, that'll be 19 plus minus 19 squared minus 4 times 5 times 16. That should be root of 41 divided by 10. So here you have x is equal to 19 minus root of 41 divided by 10. X could be 1.26, or it can be 19 plus root of 41 divided by 10. That should be 2.54. That could be two options for the value of x. Now that is done, solve the equation and find the two possible values of y when p equal to 38. Pretty easy. Go back to this equation, y equal to 16 over x. So replace these two values of x, so y equal to 16 over x. So for the value of x equal to 1.26, y is equal to what? 112.7. And then for this one, if x equal to 2.54, y is equal to 16 divided by 2.54, 6.7. Now 6.30, correct, 23SF. So that should be this one done. Now for part 3, it says calculate the value of p when x is equal to y. So you have to go back to your equation. We have to find the value of p when x equal to y. Okay, so here we have this equation. Let's replace the value of x, so the value of x or y by each other. So here we have 5xy is equal to 80. That's our main equation. Now if the value of x equal to y, replace, you will have 5y squared equal to 80. Now what is the value of y? Will be 80 divided by 5 square root, that will be 4. So y is 4, which is x is also 4. Now replace this value back here, you will have to find the value of p. So 10 times 4 plus 32 divided by 4, that should be 48. So p is equal to 48 if this is true. Okay, that is part A. Now for part B, what is the special name given to this quad if this is equal to y? Now if you observe, let's say we have this is equal to x, right? Same thing. You will have what? You will have a shape like this. For example, it will look somewhat like this. If that was true, so let's say if that was x and x also, so we don't have that. That shape is, we'll call this a rhombus. Okay, the special name is a rhombus. So rhombus is a shape where all the four sides are equal. So all these four sides are the same. And but it doesn't have any right angle. Only the perpendicular is at right angle. So yep, that should be part B. And that is question number 10. Now let's move on to question number 11. The diagram shows triangles A, B, C, and D. So we have A, B, C, and D. Part 1. Describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. So A going to B. If you observe, first thing you can see is that the shape did not change. The direction did not change. Only the position changed. It only slide from one place to the other. So that can only be a translation. So this point became this point. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. So 6 minus 6, 2. So this one is what? Is a translation with column vector. So since we move to the left, it has to be minus 6 and up by 2. So that is your translation vector, 6 minus 6, 2. Now part B, find the matrix that represent the single transformation that maps A onto C. A onto C. As you can see, the size changed, so it has to be an enlargement, right? Now let's see which are the corresponding points. So this point became this point. So we just have to find, so here we just have to find the matrix. To find the matrix, we just have to find the scale factor. In this case, what happened? If you observe, here is the corresponding side. So we have 1, 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, that is the final size. Initial size was 2. It is 2. Now the scale factor is -2 actually. Why? Because the center of enlargement is on the opposite side of each other. In that case, the center of enlargement was just 0, 0. So the reason why the scale it will be -2 in that case is because if that was your center of enlargement, this point has went to the side opposite this point. That's why it will be -2 for the scale factor. Now since you know that already, you can write down the matrix. So the matrix of enlargement has a very regular form. It has to be -2, 0, 0, -2, with those two positions as your scale factor. For example, for enlargement, it looks like k, 0, 0, k, where k is your scale factor. Scale factor. Now scale factor is not 2 because the center is on the in between the initial and the final point. So the enlargement was on the opposite side of the point. That's why the scale factor becomes -2. So k is -2. Replace, you have this as your matrix. Now for part C, A is mapped onto D by clockwise rotation. So A is mapped onto D by a clockwise rotation in this direction. Now question is, find the angle of rotation and find the coordinates of the center of rotation. So to find the center of rotation first is we have to do something. First we have to, let's see. So this point, so first this point, we know that this point became this point, right? So this became this. So in that case, we have to draw the perpendicular bisector between this and this point that join these two. So let's see, what is the perpendicular bisector of this line to find the center of rotation? So it will be, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Divided by 3, that will be 3. So exactly halfway at right angle, that will be your perpendicular bisector. Right, that's the first one. Now we need another one to find the center of rotation. So next one is this one. So we know this became this, and we know that this became this, right? So this point became this point. So let's join these two. So we have to find the perpendicular bisector of this line. So you can use a compass if you want to, but you can just see where it might be, because since this is a line going through the squares, it will be exactly in between, halfway. So we have 1, 2, 3 squares. Half will be 1.5 in between right here. It will go at right angle, as you can see. So where this black line and the red line means, it will be your center of rotation. So this is your center of rotation, which is 1, 4. We can just write this down. So here we have find the center. That will be 1, 4. And we have to find the angle of rotation. So angle will be what? So we can observe. So we know this point became this point. So let's connect them together. So this point became this point. So what is the angle if you do a clockwise rotation? The angle will be this. So we have to find this angle. How do you find this? You just observe, if this is 90, this have to be 270. So in the clockwise direction, you have to be 270 degrees. Okay, that will be part 1 and 2. Now for part D, the matrix this represents a transformation that maps A onto triangle E. Okay, find the coordinates of the vertices of triangle E. So pretty easy. So what we have to do here is we have to So as you guys must know by now, matrix times object is equal to image. So matrix is here 2 0 0 1. Object is A. So what is A? Let's look at the points. A is 2 1 4 1 and 4 4. So let's write this down here. So we have 2 1 4 1 and 4 4 for the points of A, and let's find what is the triangle E. So this is A, right? So 2 times 2 is 4, 8 and 8, so this will be zeros, and that'll be 1 1 and 4. So that will be the image. So let's plot this on the graph. So 4 1 8 1 and then 8 4. Okay, so that will be your triangle. That is a triangle E. Okay, so let's label this as your triangle E. Okay, this is your point. That is done. Now describe fully the transformation that is represented by this matrix. So pretty easy. As you can observe, it is a stretch in this direction, and the scale factor is 2. So let's write this down. It is a stretch with scale factor equal to 2 and invariant line. So for stretch is always going against the line, so the line will be your y-axis. Okay, now that is part 2. Now part 3, find the matrix that represents the single transformation that maps E onto A. So A onto E was this matrix, E onto A will be this matrix. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But if you don't know this matrix, that's okay as well. You can write this down as, if you have used, let's call this one M. If M mapped A onto E, so to map E back onto A, you have to apply M inverse on both sides. You will have M inverse times E equal to A. So you have to find the inverse of this matrix. So let's write this down. Inverse, you know you have to find the determinant, which is 2 times 1 minus 0, that will be 2. And the adjoint matrix is equal to, that'll be 1, 2, and 0, 0. So M inverse is equal to 1 over 2 times 1, 0, 0, 2. That should give you half, 0, 0, 1. So this will be your answer, just like this. Okay, so that will be the question part 3 of this question number 11. So that was the last question of this paper. I hope that was somewhat helpful. As always, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching. I will see you soon.